It's Roy Kane from Epic Gaming Night, and today we're taking a look at the expansion for one of my favorite quick-paced cooperative games, and that is 5 Minute Dungeon. This is Curses Foiled Again. So Curses Foiled Again is definitely a very exciting and interesting expansion that adds several new things to your 5 Minute Dungeon game. One of the new things is it allows for a 6th player with the Druid Shaman character coming into play, and the Druid Shaman is an interesting character because it brings a whole new deck with new cards, and one of the cool things that the Druid Shaman adds is that they have cards that are infinite of a certain resource type. So like you play infinite scrolls and it's every scroll you could possibly want, or infinite arrows and it's every arrow you could possibly want. So you can get all you need. Like, those are amazing if you have the right one on the boss at the right time and the boss has a whole bunch of that certain type of icon that you need to beat them. So that's super cool. And they also have a lot of stuff that helps like mitigate the curses. That's one of the new things that this expansion adds, is these cool curse cards that come into play and stay into play. And they're all found in these like 5-card little decks that you add to the specific bosses. And these are really cool because what they do is you add these cards in with the boss cards, and you'll put these out first, and then you'll add the difference number of how many cards would normally be in the dungeon for the dungeon doors for that deck. So say you're doing the Baby Barbarian and it's normally 20 cards, you first add his 5 cards and you add 15 other cards with that, you mix that all up, and then you add a number of the cards that you add in per player in there as well. So that makes the balance of the game, how difficult it's supposed to be. But it's kind of cool because these cards are sort of thematic to those specific bosses. So like the Baby Barbarian has different things like that'll be like blocks and things like that that are kind of like babyish. Overall, it's just like interesting, weird mechanics that make the game kind of hard. But it's cool to see that the artwork and stuff matches that specific boss that you're currently fighting. And the curses, what they do is they come into play through these boss cards, and they will basically stay in play until something removes them. So they'll do things like you can only play with one of your hands, or you have to play with your cards face down, and you have to like look at them one at a time to be able to play them. These things are really difficult and can like amp up the difficulty of the game if they get stuck in play. So it's cool that there's a lot of new cards that they've added into the game to try to mitigate these curses as well. So the Shaman / Druid is definitely the character you want to take with you if you're going up against a bunch of these curses. So it helps you fight off that as well. But on top of that, if you don't want to have to play this guy every single time you play with the bosses, there are new action cards as well. They get added into each character's deck, and there's a few cards here and there for each of the players that can kind of mitigate the curses. I think there's like 2 cards each. Some of them are just good overall, and some of them like affect the curses. So that's another thing that's cool, is they've added a couple more cards to every other character. And they also added in these artifact cards. So if you're not playing with specific characters, say you're not playing with the Druid Shaman, the new character that can mess with curses, you add in the Druid Shaman artifact, and then during that game, you can flip that over to kind of like mitigate curses as well. So there's lots of cool things that they've added, and that also helps with all the other stuff. Like if you're not playing with the wizard, there's one that you can flip over and like pause time still, or be able to like draw some cards and things like that. So all sorts of exciting things as far as the artifacts go, and that helps balance out the game if you're not playing with certain types of characters. And it's really cool that you can take this all the way up to 6 players now. I've actually played a couple of games with like 6 players, the full player count, and it still only takes like less than 5 minutes to play through one game of this if you're just playing like one boss. So like if you have a like huge group of people, you can like switch people out and play these 6-player games. It's really fun. Or you can do that whole campaign where you start with the Baby Barbarian and go up and up and up and fight bigger and badder bosses. It's definitely super interesting, all the stuff this adds to the game. Just a nice little small box of Curses Foiled Again. It's really cool to see new things added into the game, and of course they have beautiful artwork on all the stuff as well. So awesome 5 Minute Dungeon. Definitely check it out. It's on Kickstarter now, and I hope you enjoy it.